Hello everybody, this is Alan here again, aka Chita, and today I bring you another Comp1 pre-release tutorial for the VB version 2014. Now in this video we're going to create another way for the player to play the game. What we're going to do is once the user starts playing the game, if the card that they're looking at is the same as the next card and they get it wrong, so if they put yes, we are not going to give them a point, but we're going to let them try again. That probably sounds very familiar with what we've done already, with the difficulty settings that we did in part 5, and you might be even thinking, isn't that going to conflict, isn't that pretty much done already? And you would be completely right to assume that. So to avoid that, what I'm going to do is, this is a whole pre-release that AQA gave us, and I'm going to copy this bit. It's just the PlayGame sub, and I'm going to start fresh. Now I'm not going to delete anything from my code, so don't panic. I'm just going to create another copy of this procedure. After that I'm going to copy and paste, and that does give us quite a few errors. I'll give it 6 errors, but fear not, they're quite easy to fix. So first of all, we need to change this. The identifier for the procedure cannot be the same as another identifier, because that would conflict. So we'll change that to PlayGame 2. And what we're also going to need is, we're going to need to create a parameter. So by ref, and that's going to be top, because we're going to do the top score, and it's going to be an array of the recent score. Now that's all that we're going to need. Then we need to fix this. Now what's missing here is the number of DAX, because even though I'm copying the code straight from the AQA pre-release, we have changed this procedure to take the number of DAX. Now I'm not going to bother copying everything over to get this working as well without adding the parameter, because all we need is to add the one parameter, because we're going to make it so the player cannot choose the number of DAX, will always be 1. And over here as well, this is the number of DAX. I believe this one is the number of DAX. Yes, it is. This one is the top score. That's why I've made that parameter. That's the number of DAX, and that is the top score. Alright, that's all the errors fixed. Back to the before it will take longer. Okay, now going to have to create a variable. I'm thinking ahead. Going to the dim, and I'm going to call it same as byte, and I'm going to give you a default value of 0. There we go. Now this variable will hold the number of times that the player got it wrong when the cards were the same. So that's why we'll start with 0, because before the game starts they haven't guessed anything yet, so they couldn't have this couldn't have happened before. Now over here is where we check if the player is right or wrong. Now if the player is right, we execute this. If the player is not right, well then, if choice is equal. Now this bit we need to think a little bit. We wanted to check if the player was wrong, so it was the same cards were the same, and we check to see if the cards are higher or not. So the both cards were the same, so they were not higher, and the player got it wrong, so the player must have guessed yes. So that's what we're going to do. So if choice is equal yes, and both cards were the same, so last card dot rank, it's equal next card dot rank. Now don't forget to use the dot rank, because these cards will have a different suit, so they will have different properties. They won't be exactly the same card, but they will have different rank, same rank, sorry. Alright, next what we're going to do is we're going to create a very little sub over here. So sub, same cards. Now this sub will simply tell the user that, tell the player that they got it wrong on this very special case, that the both cards were the same. So we're going to clear the console, console.clear, dot not comma, console.clear, and now we're going to console.writeLine, and we're going to say the next card has the same rank. Yeah, that's fine. And that's enough. Set would be little. Now we're going to say that. So same cards. And now that's what we want to check to count for. That's why we created this variable. So all we need to do over here is to increment it by 1. So same plus equals 1. Next we will need to make the update so the game would continue. So last card is equal new next card, yeah, and we want to display the last card. The last card? Yeah, the last card. Alright, so we'll change this card. So the last card will be the next card, the card that was facing down, so we're facing it up, and then we tell the player which card this is, which is our next card. And then over here on the start of the while loop, the next card is updated with the actual next card, and everything's fine. Now that's almost everything we need to do. Some of you probably noticed that we've created this variable, we've populated it with the appropriate values, but we're not actually using it for anything else. So this, we need to keep track of how many times that happens, because that's going to affect our score. As I said, we don't want to give the players score a point for when this happens. So we're going to change over here. So all we need to do is subtract the number of times that happens. So same thing every time we're sending the score. So that's the score minus same, and that's also score, so minus same. And that's not all of them. We also have over here, when we display the correct guess message, we also say the score, so we want to do minus same. And we're almost done with this sub, with the PlayGame 2 sub. All we need to do is change that. Now if we leave it like that, what's happened is, if the player get it wrong and the both cards are not the same, then fine, we're going to finish the game. We're going to skip this if statement, we're going to finish the game, and that's exactly what we want. Now if this is the case, that both cards are the same and the user got it wrong, then we're going to do all of that, and then we're going to finish the game. So everything that we've done won't make any difference, so it's just working for nothing. So simply Ctrl X to cut it, and inside the selection, the if statement, we're simply going to put else, and you can Ctrl V over there. Now that's everything for this sub. Now let's scroll up to our main, and we need to create a way for the player to actually play on this whole new game that we've created. In fact, before we actually allow them to, we need to tell them how to. So console, back to the display menu, we're going to console.writeLine, and I'm running out of options. I've done so much to this code already that I'm already on option 9, and after I'm already past option 9, so I'm out of numbers, of 1-digit numbers, apart from 0 at least, so I'll use 0. And play game, and I'm going to make it with no shuffle, so it's easier for me to test, because without shuffling I know without shuffling I can tell what the next sound will be. So and then I need to specify that same cards, one more try. Alright, now we can go back to the main, and we can create the case 0. Alright, now what we're going to do is, as I said, I'm going to play the game without shuffling. So option 2 is already playing the game without shuffling, so simply going to copy and paste everything from option 2 for the sake of efficiency. Paste it over there, and now we can adapt it. So that's checking the number of decks. We don't need that because we're only playing with one deck, so that can go away. And this redeem is important to keep the correct size of the array. What we don't need is this times deck, because that'll be always 1, so it will always be 52. Sorry. Then load the deck. Yes, we do need to load the deck, but what we don't need is this variable over there. We need a fixed value of 1. So always play with one deck. And finally, we need to change that to our new sub that we've created. So PlayGame 2, and we don't have this parameter, so this deck can go away. And we also don't have these last parameters, so these errors can go away. Well, that's everything. We can actually run the program and try it, and let's hope that nothing goes wrong. Alright, so first thing that I can notice is that our new options over there, so 0. Let's play. It goes straight away to the game, doesn't ask for the number of decks, so that's good. And the first card is an ace. Now the first card is an ace, the second card is a 2, so the next card's higher. And now the next card is a 2. So first I want to check if it would work if I still put the correct guess or no. And yes, our score goes to 2. Now remember that our score is 2, we need to keep track of that. Now the next card is also a 2, and so I'm going to guess it wrong on purpose. Tested, so yes, and we got it right. Okay, that's good. Now the next card is 3, so if I put yes, our score should go to 3 rather than 4, and that's what we have it. Once again, let's try it. So the next card will be 3, so put yes. I got it wrong again. The next card will be 3 again, I believe. Let's try it. No, well, it was 4, so it's working. So I believe that's everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments or feedback that you want to leave, or any ideas for possible implementations, please do leave a comment below. And if you like this tutorial, like this series, and you want to support, feel free to click the like button. And if you really like the series and you want to be notified every time I post a new video, you can subscribe, and YouTube will tell you every time I post a video, so it'll be a lot easier for you to check, keep track on your studies. So once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.